You can like, share, subscribe. And this stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E, live now with live now. We provide snacks, drinks, cleaning products. So if you're in the Trinidad and Tobago area, you can contact us via WhatsApp or call 319-4788. That's 319-4788. I'm going to start off with Pippen and Jordan because I'm listening to a lot of people and they kiss Jordan's ass. They think that Michael Jordan is the sole reason the Bulls won championships and so on. And I see they overhyping this guy. And this is a team sport. When you think of Larry Bird, for example, you think of the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics was a cold team. Now, Larry Bird was a cold player, but without the Boston Celtics, it really don't matter. When teams wanted to go up, everybody was saying how they were afraid of Michael Jordan, probably were intimidated by him, but that wasn't the reason why the Bulls was winning. It was the whole entire team. And I feel like every time people talk about, and don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan is a name. He's a magnet. He's a sort of manufactured name because of the sneakers. Because of that, you're gonna see him all the time because of the sneakers, and of course, he was performing well. He was a scorer, so he got a lot of points in games, and so all of that would make you magnetized towards him, get your attention. And of course, he was phenomenal. He made some creative plays. He did certain layups that were just really insane. He dunked on players. He jumped real high. So I get it. All right. Plus, the Bulls was built around him. Okay. So I get all of that. But I think he takes away, and a lot of people take away from the accomplishments of the team. It's the team that won championships. And so, therefore, a lot of people always, they always think that it's Michael that brought the team along and he carried the load. And that's bullshit. All of that's bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Michael was one of the people who enabled the Bulls to be what they are. Nobody's saying no to that. Okay. But like Joe Budden said, but he never got to elaborate on it. Michael Jordan became the face of the NBA. And that was by design. Howard Stern pushed that. Nike pushed that. It was all about marketing. And that's why Jordan became the face of basketball and why basketball did so well. It was marketing. They had him in films and all of that, just like LeBron James today and so on. Yes, yes, yes. But you got to understand, basketball is not an individual sport like boxing. Basketball is a team sport. And I'm going to show you why Scottie Pippen has all right to say he should be remembered as the greatest of all time. I'll give you reasons why LeBron James can call himself the GOAT. In fact, based on certain criteria and certain accomplishments that these guys have made, they deserve to be where they are, and they deserve to say that they are what they are. What people don't know is that the Chicago Bulls had two team leaders. It wasn't one team leader. Everybody likes to say it's Michael Jordan's team, and it was Michael Jordan and the Bulls because Michael Jordan was the guy that in the post game conferences, he would be the one speaking. He was the mouthpiece. He was the mouthpiece for the Bulls. So everybody always say that Michael Jordan, it was his team. But the person who led the team and the person who directed the plays was actually Scottie Pippen. That's why Michael Jordan always gives Scottie Pippen the credit he deserves. He called him little bro, but truth be told, in the second three-peat, Scottie Pippen was no longer little bro. Anybody who knows anything about the first win that the Bulls had in the second three-peat, no, it's Scottie Pippen that carried the team to that victory. Michael Jordan was on the team, but Michael Jordan wasn't the one that carried the team to victory. Because if you do remember anything about the second three-peat, Michael Jordan came back on the team in 1995. I believe it was the 95. Was it the 95, 96 year, or was it the 94, 95 year? I can't remember which one. But he came back on the team, and the Bulls didn't win a championship. They didn't win a championship that year. They couldn't get past Orlando. And Orlando beat them. Now, there were some critical things that happened. Scottie Pippen was He got injured, so he was kind of out of there. And so that kind of allowed Orlando to kind of beat the Bulls at critical points in time. But nonetheless, Michael Jordan did not carry the Bulls to the first three-peat. It was Scottie Pippen. I don't know if you guys remember that. Scottie Pippen still remained the leader of the team. Jordan did help the team to become more focused so they could get past the Knicks, right? And even though people didn't like the way the teammates didn't like the way how he proceeded to try and take over practices and take over things, uh, they still stepped up and did what they needed to do. So Michael Jordan kind of put in them, whether you like it or not, whether they liked it or not, a certain level of preparedness, particularly for the rough parts of the game, where your opponents would say all kinds of mean things to you and all of that. He was trying to prepare them mentally for that. Now, because that team had never won, certain members of the team didn't win championships. They don't know what it was to win a championship. Scotty led a team, a new team, mind you. There were certain key elements that were still there, but a new team Scottie Pippen led after Jordan left. Because when Jordan left, Tony Kukoc was there. Tony Kukoc never won a championship. Um, what's his name? The center, he came there. Luke Longley came. And so the team was kind of rebuilding with pieces that weren't there because Horace Grant had left. So Scottie Pippen got that team. I think it was in 1993 to the 1994 season. Scottie got that team, and that's what the team he almost brought to the championship. He lost his composure a little bit, and there was dubious calls that kind of set them back, and that's why they didn't beat the Knicks. So, it was a dubious call, but it is what it is. Now, so when you look at Jordan here talking to Pippen, Pippen's the leader, the guy that orchestrates the plays for the triangle offense and defense, and he mastered it. Michael Jordan, without Scottie Pippen, I remember, okay, so here's a couple things. I believe it was the 95-96 season, or was it the 96-97 season? No, sorry. It was the last dance season. Scottie Pippen was out of the team, out of the Bulls team for a good part of that season because he was addressing an injury that he was trying to fix back. And the Bulls struggled that whole entire season. Michael Jordan did some Hail Mary plays and all of that, but they struggled without Scottie Pippen. Why? Because Scottie Pippen did so many things. When Scottie Pippen came back, that's when the Bulls really started to fly. And they were firing on all cylinders because everybody else had to pitch in. Michael Jordan had to do a lot more work than he was doing before. He had to score a lot more than he was scoring before. He had to carry the team. And Jordan, it was a tremendous burden on Michael Jordan, right? And I'm not saying this to say that Michael Jordan wasn't a great player and all of that. Never discounted Michael Jordan. In fact, if y'all want to call him the greatest player of all time, I'm cool with that, right? I know why you were saying that, because of the looking at the plays, his clutch hand, the game-winning shots. But remember, Michael Jordan was a scorer. He was primarily a scorer for the Bulls. He was a great defensive player as well. He and Scottie Pippen, they used to really tighten up the defense. They would do a full court press. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen's way out there on the other side of the court, mugging the point guards, and then they go back into position, right? So one thing people need to understand is Jordan and Pippen, they played together. They had an understanding between them because they trained together. Jordan knew Pippen's game a lot more, and Pippen knew Jordan's game a lot more. These guys played when everybody else wasn't training. Pippen and Jordan was training. Jordan and Pippen was training. They trained together, so they understood each other really, really well. The difference between Jordan and Pippen was Pippen thought about the other players and how to get to them and how to reach them to bring out their potential. And Jordan did that in another kind of way, in a very aggressive, very abrasive way. He ain't really fully understand you, but he wants the bottom line. He's going to learn about you as he moves along. And by the end of the season, because Jordan had to carry most of the weight of the team, it forced him to have to know how to bring out certain things from certain players. And he learned that over time. So I'm not saying that Jordan didn't become a better player because of Scottie Pippen and because of that team and the different people he had to deal with on the team. I'm not saying that at all. He did. But they make it sound like Scottie Pippen had to come along and Scottie Pippen had to be the guy that needed to be developed and Scottie Pippen had to do. No. Another thing I heard somebody straight up tell me they straight up told me on YouTube is Scottie Pippen came into the league as a bum. That's bullshit. Scottie Pippen was unknown, but if you do a little homework, you'll know Scottie Pippen had a growth spurt. So Scottie Pippen went to college and he was playing basketball in college. He was nothing special, but he played point guard. He used to bring the ball up the court because he was a short guy compared to everybody else. He was only 6'1", nothing special, right? And he bring the ball up the court. But what the coaches realized in Scottie Pippen was he could do many different things. He could ball handle. He could, he had a very good defense. He used to steal balls a lot, right? In his, I believe it was his second year, he had this tremendous growth spurt where he grew 7 inches. He became a 6'8" player. And as a 6'8" player, they moved him to the forward position, but he could also ball handle. Now he could rebound. He always used to steal. He had quick hands. He started to steal, right? So he had ball handling. He could steal. He could bring the ball up the court. He could distribute the ball. He could make plays. He could rebound, right? He was an all-around player. And the coach realized this guy's special because he could do everything. And his defense was good. He could defend, of course. And like I said, he stole the ball and stuff. So because of this, Scottie Pippen was one of those guys that he could do everything that was necessary. So coming into the NBA, he said he was going to have the power forward position. Of course, he was coming off the bench. He wasn't somebody who they put to play immediately in his rookie year. But in his rookie year, Scottie Pippen made such pivotal plays and dunks and stuff, steals. It was so pivotal. Even though he didn't get much time, he had limited time on the court. But whenever he went on the court, in one game, Scottie Pippen singly took over the game and had 30 points in his rookie year. He scored 30 points with limited time to make the Bulls win that game because of Scottie Pippen. Horace Grant also came in. It was Pippen and Grant that was added to the team in '87. Jordan was getting swept in the playoff finals every single year. Pippen came into the league in '87. I want you to understand something. And because Pippen came into the league in '87, the Bulls went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and met the Detroit Pistons. Okay, in '87. Pippen changed everything. He really improved the whole team. Now, at this point in time, there was no point guard. Pippen was playing small forward, and sometimes he played the power forward position with Horace Grant, and they'd be on either wing. So I'm not sure if Jordan used to bring up the ball or who used to bring up the ball. I think it was B.J. Armstrong used to bring up the ball. B.J. Armstrong was the point guard at the time, right? Oh, by the way, Pippen was also a shooting guard. Pippen could shoot. Pippen could do it all. He could perimeter shoot for threes. He could do the mid-range shoot. He could also lay up. He could dunk. And I mean, this guy could dunk. In his first year coming into the Chicago Bulls in 1987, this fucking ninja leaped off just inside of the free throw line and put it down in a way, I don't know. He could dunk with either hand, by the way. Michael Jordan usually tomahawk dunk with the right hand. Pippen could dunk with the right and the left, equally and easily. This guy coming into the league, playing power forward position, was doing this shit. All right? On guys like the Boston Celtics. He was doing it on the Detroit Pistons, right? So Pippen was a very important player. Not just he was a very important player, he was and became one of the team leaders. This is why Michael Jordan pulled him aside and said, man, I'm going to work with this motherfucker because this motherfucker is going to take us to the championship, right? He understood how good Pippen was. Now let's just give you guys a little context here, because I think a lot of people think, I hear people dumping on Michael Jordan and all this shit, and I don't understand it. There's certain things. Even Pippen said some things that, while I agree Jordan was a ball hog somewhat, let me let y'all know Jordan was always a leader. Jordan came in his rookie year in North Carolina College. In his rookie year, he started playing with James Worthy, and there was another great player on that team that didn't in the NBA didn't really do much in the NBA, but Jordan, as a fucking rookie, they gave him the final shot and he won a game for them. North Carolina. And Jordan has been a leader of North Carolina, the North Carolina team. From the following year, he was the team leader, and he used to lead people like Kenny Smith. All right. So Jordan knows what it is to lead a team to victory. He knows what it is to play basketball. He knows that he needs to motivate players, but he was also a very, very competitive guy. All right. So we're not going to try and question Jordan's leadership in terms of, was he a good leader or a bad